Hello. Hi. Good morning once again. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you to all of our callers. Those of you who called during the newspaper review, thank you. We appreciate you also so much. It's time for us to get into our news flash segments. This is the segment that we talk current affairs, but you get to be part of the conversation via social media platforms. Facebook, it is Joy Prime TV, and our WhatsApp number is 055-157-5757. Now, this coming Tuesday, next week Tuesday, we have something incredible for you. If you're a parent, please listen attentively. The cost of educating a child in Ghana is rising, but are parents paying too much when it comes to, Well, this Tuesday, 18th of August, 2026, on Prime Morning, parents, teachers, authority, stakeholders are going to come together for a frank, solution-driven school reform dialogue. A conversation asking the big question: how much should it really cost to educate Ghana's child? From textbooks and school supplies to extra classes, compulsory purchases, levies, and other school-related costs. Where is the line between quality education and an unfair financial burden on parents? Join us as we put the concerns on the table, seek answers, and explore practical solutions for a more affordable and equitable education system. School Reform Dialogue: the cost of educating Ghana's child. Again, this Tuesday, 18th of August, live on Prime Morning. So if you're a parent, if you're a teacher, this conversation will be perfect for you. We know that we have a number of you who have so many concerns regarding the amount of money that you're paying in purchasing textbooks, notebooks, exercise books, and all that. So that will be our focus, God willing, on Tuesday, the 18th of August. All right. I need to remind you that the Newsflash segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. So if you're looking for whatever electronic device it is at all, they've got you covered. You can download the app on your phones. It is Franco, just Franco. On iOS, on Android, they've got you covered. From the comfort of your homes and your offices, you can place an order and they will deliver at your doorstep. My name is Asiadua Akomia, and I am your host for the Newsflash segment today. And I'm seated with three gentlemen, and we're going to get talking into two different matters. We have two topics to get into, and I believe that my gentlemen are ready to dive into these topics as well. Let me introduce them to you. So I've got Derek Ejekum, who is a member of the NPP's Communications Team. Good morning, Derek.
Good morning, Asiadua.
How are you?
By the grace of God, I'm doing well. God is doing his part. So what is left is for the government to also do his. I said, well, for 2 weeks now, those of us who live in a Delta Pantai, water is not flowing. It's in excess of 2 weeks because I've been away from Accra for over a week. And prior to me leaving, we were not having the water for about 10, 12 days.
Okay. I'll come back to you pretty shortly. Let me introduce my other two panel to you. So we've got Nichiren Appiah Buadi, who is a National Communications Team member for the NDC. Good morning.
Good morning, Asiadua.
Nichiren.
Yes.
First time here.
Yes.
Glad to have you. Thank you for being here.
I must say that it is good to be here.
Okay.
And I believe this will be the beginning of coming here more often to be able to let Ghanaians know the good work the president is doing to ensure that the mess that was created about 8 years ago will be corrected. So it's good to be here.
Okay, well, thank you. And we've got Salam Dramani Dramado, who is a leading member of Arise Ghana. Good morning.
Good morning, Silva.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
How has your week been?
So far, so good. I'm in excellent health, and that is the ultimate. So once I'm in full possession of excellent health and faculty, I can only say Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our very first topic for discussion this morning is, fuel prices. And since the beginning of the year, fuel prices have gone up by 33%. And it's got a number of people talking. Earlier, during the newspaper review, we had one caller who was talking about the fact that fuel prices this morning is not looking the best. So regardless of, last week, if you remember, we sat on here and we talked about the fact that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama had absorbed, a percentage off of diesel, which was exciting for a number of people. And so what really is going on, what really is happening, we're going to get into that conversation, and we're going to look at Ghana cedis depreciating against the dollar. We're going to get to that conversation as well. So again, please make sure that you're glued to your TV sets. Facebook, it is Joy Prime TV. Hop on there, hit the share button. Our WhatsApp number, 055-157-5757. I'm going to start with Nichiren. Good morning to you once again.
Good morning, Ms. Edwa.
Now, fuel prices have gone up from the beginning of the year in total by 33%. And one of the exciting things that I believe, in the course of the year, you would hear news that fuel prices have dropped and everybody gets excited. And then something happens, most especially what was happening on the international market, the war going on outside, with the US, Ukraine and all of that. So, and the Israel war. So it was something that looked like this current government is not really trying to say that because of the war going on, it is really affecting our fuel pricing. Because one way or the other, you still find a way to mitigate things and make things proper, or to make things a bit bearable for Ghanaians. But then 33%, and currently fuel prices have gone up as compared to just about 2 weeks ago. What really is happening?
Ezedwa, thank you very much. And I would like to greet my boss, the Minister for Government Communication, the Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye. You have given a clear picture of the situation. And I believe if Ghanaians are listening and watching, they would actually know that the fuel price increment that Joy News have made their report that is about 33%.
Yes.
Is not something induced by the government. It is very true that when fuel prices go up, it affects almost everything.
Yes.
And I agree with stakeholders that when the prices go up, it affects production, it affects transport, it also affects the fact that we move most of our produce from the rural areas to the urban centers. So
yes,
Ghanaians are justified when they actually complain about increment in fuel prices. But I ask this question, Ezedwa, can we ever have fuel prices being static for over 2, 3, 4 years? The issue is no. There can never be any government in this country that will come that fuel prices will be static and will never increase or go down. But the fact is that when you check from 2025 up until now, you will know that the NDC government ensured that the prices of fuel became relatively stable. For the first time in the history of Ghana that I know of, at a point in time, Ghanaians were even clamoring for the fact that drivers must reduce their fares. Because if you go to the pump, you will see that fuel prices have dropped. And true to our words also, the GPRTU and several transport agencies reduced their fares. That is a fact. You mentioned something, and I believe that if it's not for naysayers and people who want to just argue, they will agree. Ezedwa, we all know for a fact that until recently, toll was not functioning. We did not refine oil in this country. Because of recklessness by the previous government, they grounded toll to a halt. But by the grace of God and the ingenuity of Edmund Combat, the toll boss and the president of Ghana, toll is now operational. Ezedwa, fuel prices will continue to go up because of the issues in the Middle East. You mentioned same.
Yeah.
Because we all know that in the Middle East, most of the fuel we use in Africa and by extension, Ghana comes from there.
Sourced out of there. Yeah.
So if there is any confusion or conflict between Israel, US on one hand, Iran on the other hand, it will obviously affect the fact that we get fuel in this country and the prices will go up. But the fact is that when you have a government that is very sensitive to the plight of Ghanaians, a government that will not say that, okay, prices are going up, I'll just fold my hands in despair and make Ghanaians suffer. By a government that will say, okay, in as much as the prices that are going up is not induced by local factors, but the prices are induced by factors that are external, I will still cushion Ghanaians. I think about a week or so ago, at a cabinet meeting, the president directed the NPA boss to ensure that at least the prices of diesel will be absorbed by 2%. 2 cedis, sorry.
Yeah, 2 cedis.
And this actually brought some relief to Ghanaians. So I dare say that in as much as we will bear with Ghanaians, that as the times are becoming a bit rough because of the issues in the Middle East, they have a government that will not just say that the prices must go up, Ghanaians must suffer, but the government is ensuring that all the problems we are facing, it will be addressed.
Okay, Nichiren, before you continue, so we've had a number of research analysts on here to talk about, you know, how when it comes to the fuel pricing, when it comes to, you know, transport and all of that, how the pricing and the amount, how it keeps on fluctuating. And one of the major things that cuts across all of them is the fact that there isn't any strategic plan, any proper plan that has been put out there to make sure that everything is properly done. So you know, representing the government seated here this morning, would you say that whatever strategies that you've put in place, whatever that you've done so far, has been good?
You see, I said, well, since 2015, there have been deregulation of petroleum products, which simply means that when the prices go up on the world market, there is little government can do to cushion the Ghanaian. Because now we are saying that from 2015, the prices of fuel that we get on the world market comes directly to the ordinary Ghanaian to face the consequence. But the fact is that this deregulation has always been there.
Okay.
But it will take a government that is sensitive to ensure that in as much as the law is there, there is no cushion, will cushion the Ghanaian. But you see, let me not go back, but we compare to sift the right from the wrong. Looking at the trajectory from 2017 to about 2024, before we took over, the fluctuation of fuel prices compared to now is better.
Okay.
It will take somebody who doesn't want to read, who doesn't want to learn, who will say that the price of fuel is fluctuating as compared to what we saw in the previous times. Okay. But I dare say, you see, when the government is constituted, what you are supposed to do is to ensure that you put measures in place for Ghanaians to have a reprieve. So I would say that the government is not just sitting down and saying that the hardship, Ghanaians must face them. But the fact is that things are being put in place. Okay. We are hoping, you know, the Strait of Hormuz, where the fuel comes from. Yeah. Major OMCs and what have you, they all source their fuel from these areas. Yes. So when there is a disturbance there, obviously we'll have the rippling effect. You see, we will not say that there is Russian-Ukraine war. So the hardship we are facing, Ghanaians must face it head on. The hardship will come because of the conflict. But the fact is that we have a listening government. Okay. And I say the increment in fuel prices, the fluctuation is far better compared to previously. And you see, I said, well, we must also commend the president strongly. I mentioned earlier, it will take somebody who is sensitive to people's plights to sit down and say, the government will suffer all right, because taking or absorbing the 2%, obviously government will pay for it. But when you know that if you leave this price on the Ghanaian, they will suffer, and you pick it up, that is far better than sitting down. So I say that those challenges will come, but surely it is going to be solved.
Salom and Derek, I'll come to you pretty shortly, but I want Nichiren to help us understand something here. So now His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has absorbed 2 Ghana cedis off of diesel. does that not come at a cost of our revenue in any way? Because at the end of the day, something else would have to pay for this.
You see, when government is put in place, you inherit both losses and also profits, so to speak. The fact is that governments will have to pay for it. But should government leave all the costs on the ordinary Ghanaian?
Okay.
The Ghanaian is already burdened with several issues. Should all the costs be passed on to the Ghanaian? I believe that when government comes in place or is put together, the government must ensure that if the government will even have a little bit of suffering and the people will enjoy, that is better. You see, we have seen previous government who says that you voted for me, I didn't force you to vote for me. So if you want to vote the government out, you can do so. We will not say that.
Okay.
We will ensure that when the problems come, we will find ways and means to solve them. You are right, Esedua. You see, government is not for the Christmas. In the consolidated fund, where money is taken to solve our problems as Ghanaians, when we pick money that we are not actually planning for these emergencies, government will suffer.
Yes.
But the fact is that something must always give.
Okay.
So I believe that what the president did through the MPA is the right thing to do.
Okay.
Because you see, if you check unemployment rate in the country is very high.
Yeah.
If you check people who are living from hand to mouth, there are many.
Yes.
People who are not, gainfully employed. All these people must make a living for themselves. If you go to Circle or major areas in the country, you will see people moving up and down in vehicles, either in trotro, in taxis and Uber. The fact is that if prices go up, the drivers will pass it on to ordinary Ghanaians. So if the government says that, okay, we can't solve all the problem because the issue is bigger than the government. Because obviously, the oil is not produced here. We source from somewhere. There is an issue. We all know. You mentioned say. But when the problem comes, it will take a reasonable government. A government that is concerned about people's well-being to say that, okay, when I pick the 2%, it won't solve the problem in its entirety. But what it will do is that it will give some reprieve to Ghanaians. Yes, when the government suffers, I know John Dramani Mahama. He is not a novice in government. He has been in government before. He knows what to do to make the economy bounce back. So I believe that an aspect of government will suffer, but that is more important than pushing all the burden on Ghanaians. The Ghanaians take all this blame. This is what a responsible government does, and not the government of the MPP that came to rip off the Ghanaian of all the benefits we have actually chalked since independence.
Alrighty. Salom.
Yeah. Oh,
I know. You're probably hoping that I would go to Derek.
Yeah, go to Derek. Please go to Derek.
No, I want him to properly.
No, there's a reason. There's a reason. This Friday, you have decided to prepare this delectable sandwich. So let that sandwich be a tasty, delectable one. You move to Derek. Okay. So from Derek.
That's okay. Because I actually I noticed that Derek was writing out a number of things. So I didn't want him rebutting right after, but that's okay. That's fine.
You should rebut.
I understand during my introductory remarks there were some sounds that were produced. Maybe probably because of the microphone, so I may have to do it again. A special morning to your beautiful self.
Thank you.
And the delectable sandwich that he spoke about, I'm sure you are the one that he was referring to.
She prepared the delectable sandwich.
Your viewers out there. And a special morning to the incoming national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, the Venerable Boachi Njakon, who will be working alongside with the mafioso, the maestro Kwame Poku CID, our incoming national youth organizer. I said, for almost 3 weeks now, those of us who live in the region of Adenta, Pantine, Medina, our taps are not flowing.
Yeah.
And it's very worrying. It's very, very worrying. And so I think that the Ghana Water Company should pay attention to such areas and provide the necessary support and solutions that we need. I said, back to the substance of the conversation. I never thought for once that the country called Ghana, at some point in time, we will be affected by external shocks. I never for once thought that the country called Ghana, that you and I are living in, we've been living in since time immemorial when we were born, at some point in time, it will be affected by external shocks in this country. You see, I say this all the time, that one of our problems in this country is the kind of politics that we do in Ghana. Today, you are in government, and so you talk about Strait of Hormuz, you talk about external price of fuel and all of that. On one breath, you talk about the fact that TOR is operational. You talk about the fact that TOR is operational. And so if TOR is operational, what is it again? TOR is operational. Your documents prove that you made profit from TOR. So now TOR can refine the oil that we produce in Ghana here. So what is it again? That we may have to pay 16 cedis per liter for fuel. That super is doing almost, diesel is doing almost 19 cedis. Yeah. One thing that I have noticed this government for is they are always reactionary. They foresee the problem coming, but they don't have any solutions to the problem. But when it happens and then the Ghanaian people are complaining, then they react to the complaints and make it look like they are thinking government. Some time past when we sat here with Julius, he made the analogy of the D-levy that it is reasonable for every man that when the prices on the world market or the international market is cheaper, as a government, you put in measures to save money for your people and then for the economy. And that is why they introduced the 1 Ghana cedi. What at all is stopping the government from taking off the 1 Ghana cedi? His boss, the Minister for Government Communications, announced that government will take steps. Will take steps. Until when? When are those steps going to be taken? You see, fuel prices is a conversation. The increment or exorbitant price of fuel is a conversation that affects every single individual, especially those in the informal sector. And they are the people that are a lot. You take away 2 cedis from diesel. What about Salom and myself and other people who buy from Super? What is the question that you have for us? Is it because most of the commercial cars, transport cars do diesel? Some also do Super. So you have not really solved the problem in its entirety. You have not provided the necessary cushion in its entirety. But now who caused some? When we were in government, Super was doing around 15 cedi, 14 cedis. Diesel was doing around 20, 21, 22. That was when dollar was doing 14.7. That was when it was 120 cedis, $120 per barrel on the world market. You campaigned that you had better solutions in the management of these fuel conditions and our economy. That's what you told the ordinary Ghanaian people. And that is how you propagated the reset. Vote for us. It is not about Russia-Ukraine war. It wasn't about COVID-19. It was about the fact that the handlers of the economy were bad managers. That was the conversation. Today, you sit here and talk about the fact that in the Asia, most of us buy our fuel from there, forgetting that Russia does 40% production. The 4th largest producers of crude oil in this world. The 4th, and then they were at war. Are you saying that didn't have an effect on the world market and then you having access to fuel? But today, you want us to believe that the Strait of Hormuz that has been closed forms part of the conditions why we are paying that price. These excuses are not tenable for Ghanaians because they saw the impact of Russia-Ukraine war. But you made them believe that that wasn't the problem. The problem was that the people that were handling the economy were bad managers of the economy. That was what Arise Ghana made everybody believe. That was what the NDC made everybody believe. And today, Ghanaians fell in love with your conversation. They said that indeed, MPP were bad managers of the economy. They voted us out of office.
Derek, one of the driving factors for the cause of the increment in price and fuel pricing now is that the Ghana cedi against the dollar at the moment has become weaker. It is weaker. The NDC could argue that even with the Ghana cedi against the dollar being weaker at this point, look at the rates that the fuel figures or the pricing is making or is doing as compared to your government.
No, but I said when we were leaving office, Super was doing 14 Ghana cedis, 15 Ghana cedis, depending on where you buy from. We were doing an exchange rate of 14.70. Inflation was 23%. It was $120 per barrel on the world market. Today you are doing dollar at 11.65 when you go to ICOMS. What is the exchange rate today? And how much are we paying for super and diesel? How much are we paying for that? And so if after spending 18 billion Ghana cedis to cushion our currency, when your 24-hour economy needs just 4 billion, and today you tell us that in spite of all those interventions that you have done, we still may have to pay super for close to 16 Ghana cedis. My favorite point is either JP Oil or Star Oil, and that I do today. Currently, JP Oil is doing 15.43, Star Oil is doing 15.49, and that region. And so those who buy from Salom, who buy from Total and Shell like this, I'm sure he's doing about 17 Ghana cedis. Is that what we voted for? You see, we didn't vote for excuses. We didn't vote for complaints. Solve the issue by which you promised the ordinary Ghanaian that you had a better alternative solution. We were telling them that, look, our hands are crippled. At this point, it is beyond the government because the Russian-Ukraine war one makes it scarce for us to even get the fuel to buy. Yeah. And so whoever has it, it becomes a seller's market. And that is how come the prices are skyrocketing at this point. You said, no. There were conferences all over. There were press conferences all over. There were engagement from Samit Jemfi, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, John Dramani Mahama himself, making us believe that Russia, Ukraine is whatever miles away from Ghana. And so how does a war in Russia, Ukraine affect Ghana? But today, Strait of Hormuz, is that one in Eastern region, or is that one in Togo, or that one is in Cote d'Ivoire? Are they also not miles away from Ghana? And the problem is just about the kind of politics we do in this country. That is our problem. The hypocritical nature of we, the politicians. That is why you and I, we are suffering today. Because tell me, make it make sense to me. Why is it that dollar is doing 11.65, but you go to Central Town and farmers are not getting people to buy their gari? Why? Why is it that inflation is just around 5 point something or 8% and utility tariffs have been skyrocketing all the time? Why? Tell me why. And so the problem of this country is not segmented to a particular sector. It is affecting all the other sectors.
Internally, what pushes the Ghana cedi to end up becoming weaker against the dollar? We have a number of businesses here in Ghana that are operating in
I said, well, we had a number of businesses. Same businesses have been existing
in dollars.
Some business.
So when there is the demand for dollars, when the demand for dollars is going very, very high, automatically the Ghana cedi is going to end up being weaker as compared to, against the dollar.
Is that the argument the NDC is making today? Is that the argument the NDC is making today? Since when did businesses in Ghana stop demanding for dollars for their travels? Even today, getting dollars is like looking for cocaine to buy. Even today. Last week, we were supposed to send just about 53,000 Ghana cedis to somebody outside the country. Convert that into dollars and it is less than about $5,000. It took the bank almost 8 days to cause that transaction to happen because there are no dollars. And so even you as a business or as a market, those days, you can just book a ticket, whether genuine or ingenuine, then you go to a bank the bank that you trade with. I'm traveling to wherever and then I need dollars. Today, they may have to verify the ticket, the originality of the ticket, and even at that, they'll give you just $5,000 per quarter or I think per year. You've provided all these stringent measures just to prevent people from accessing the dollar that would make the exchange rate increase or skyrocket the exchange rate. Regardless of the fact that you have spent about 18 billion to cushion the forex. About 18 billion to cushion the forex. When your 24-hour economy needed just about 4 billion Ghana cedis and people will be employed all over 433. And so in the administrative office in Parliament, you have those who would have come from 12 to 8 a.m. and they will leave and somebody comes and then continues in that manner. And so you see, the problems of this country is not just limited to the angle of fuel prices and all of that. Every aspect of our economy is suffering. Our Greek is suffering. The last time when I spoke about the price of ginger and tomatoes on this platform, people thought I was exaggerating. But you see, when you go to the market, it is the lived realities of the Ghanaian. It is the lived reality of the Ghanaian people. And so the concerns are not just about the NDC is a thinking government and then they have absorbed 2 Ghana cedis and all. You have absorbed 2 Ghana cedis. Yet there's a tax revenue. You see, the component of the export price is one, the world market price, exchange rates, taxes and levies. And so what is it that they are telling us? That they don't really have control over the fuel prices and what have you. And government is thinking about us. You have a D-levy of 1 cedi. And so if you have absorbed 2 cedis, what have you done for us? What is it that you have done for us? In any case, who bears that cost of the 2 cedis you have taken off? Experts say that the 2 cedis that they have taken every month will cost us about 400 million.
Yes.
Who is providing for that 400 million? Isn't that also going to affect another sector of our economy? Isn't that going to affect another sector of our governance architecture? Agencies, ministries, departments are crying that there are no releases from the Ministry of Finance. And you have the NDC wanting us to believe that all is well with us. But you see, I don't blame them. Because you see how he sang praises of his boss, the Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye and all of that. By now, his fuel coupons are lying down in his car, and so he doesn't pay fuel like how we are paying the fuel. He's not spending like how some of us are spending, and so he doesn't appreciate some of these conversations. But you see, I say this, and I say this all the time, that a time and a day is coming that people will rise up against political actors because of how we approbate and reprobate, how we speak when we are out of government and how we speak when we are in government. They will rise up in arms against us, and that day is coming until soon, and there will be no surviving point for all of us. Because make it make sense to me today, you are telling me that international prices and then issues in the world market is affecting the prices of fuel, and so Ghanaians should sympathize with you when you promised the reset, when we were telling them that international issues are affecting our price, and so they should sympathize with us. It's just a matter of time. Even when inflation was about 55%, we were able to bring it down to about 23%. And then the Bank of Ghana and the World Bank had projected that by the end of 2025, we'll be doing a single-digit inflation.
It was work in progress.
Work in progress. When there was a projection that we may have done a single-digit inflation in 2025, you do single-digit inflation. I see, I'm the type that whatever that is happening under them, it is DS. I may not want to even have a trace back from the work that the MPP did, because we know them. They have no understanding of what is happening, and so they will crash, and that's what we are seeing. You think that if we had injected 18 billion Ghana cedis into stabilizing our economy, the CBN dollar would have been doing that 15 and 14 and 16 that we saw? No, never. It wouldn't have happened. But you see, when you do that, you hurt another sector of the economy. And that is how come you realize that when the Honorable Kojo Oponkroma wanted the Gold Board CEO to come to Parliament to answer questions, the majority blocked it. For the first time in the history of in managing our economy, when the Bank of Ghana governor comes to Parliament to answer questions, they say, let us do it off camera. Because in the plenary of Parliament, you can't lie. It's just
One of the things I've noticed about political parties is you want to make Ghanaians feel good about not paying certain taxes, which is quite alarming on a personal note. It's quite because we cannot thrive as a country without paying taxes. We have to one way or the other. Earlier, you made a suggestion that you asked a question, why isn't the D-levy, why can't they take off the D-levy? The 1 Ghana cedi, why can't it be taken off? You asked that question. If it is taken off, at the end of the day, something else is going to suffer, isn't it?
Yes, but I said, when government was presenting its budget and what have you on the floor of Parliament in March, there was no D-levy. They had made their projections of revenue and then expenditure. Just one night, we slept, woke up, and there was D-levy. And some of the argument was that, you see, at the time, we were doing about 9 cedis a litre. 9.99 cedis a litre, 10 cedis a litre. Okay. So it was reasonable that, okay, now that it is cheaper, why don't we, as a nation, pay some levies?
Yes. And
we will save our buffers and all of that from some of these shocks that we are about experiencing. Yes. And now it is doing about 16 cedis, close to 17, and we are still paying 1 cedi. 4 cedi, 50 pesos on every gallon that you buy. If your car is 60 liters, you pay 60 Ghana cedis. But if you're lecturing here, he doesn't pay some. So he's not feeling it. Because as government, whatever, President Obama says that they don't produce fuel coupon, but you go to Osu Castle and then the fuel station of Osu Castle, that is for government officials. Always their Land Cruisers and their cars are there filling their tanks. Who are they deceiving? Who are they lying to?
That's interesting.
Who are they deceiving? Instead of them to focus on.
That is not true.
Yeah, when it's your time,
That's not true.
when it's your time, you come and talk about it. Yeah. Let your reporters go to Osu Castle. Go over there at Osu Castle and let us see if the government officials are not going there to fill their tank.
We should now go there.
I'm saying you're telling me it's not the truth. Let them go there and go and see if it's not happening.
Okay.
You see, I said, what this government must do is that they focus and pay attention to the real issues affecting the Ghanaian people and not macho. Obawakra macho. Ojonso macho. Ofaha macho. What kind of governance system is this? You are performing abysmally. People complain about it, and then the next moment they are apprehended. Look at what my brother and my good friend General Buhari wrote on his Twitter or X page yesterday. The inhumane treatment that they put him through. Macho government. The things I'm saying, if somebody is discomforted, the next moment, they can become a choke. What kind of governance system is this? I'm not sure if Arise Ghana knew that the president or the government that he seldom dedicated his 8 years for, attacking the then government, fighting for the opposition to ensure that better alternatives come and manage the affairs of this country, is what he's experiencing today. I'm not sure he may have wasted that energy he wasted in 8 years
Well,
ago.
let's give Selam the opportunity to answer this question in particular. Selam.
That's a smart one. Try subtly to disarm me. Derek, thank you very much. Ezidua.
Yes.
Luckily, there is no social media post about me that condemned the Akufo-Addo administration for the management of this fuel thing. Because with my experience in the Ghanaian politics and how our economy is managed, that is an area I don't venture into.
Okay.
Fuel this. So there's no way, I don't think anybody can bring a post that I talk about fuel price, skyrocketing and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. No. My focus wasn't at all on that. My focus was mainly on how the economy was being ineptly managed by the one who has evaded our jurisdiction now and sojourning in the United States, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, how he was, like criminally managing this economy. We deprecated that. Ezidua, the NDC led by their presidential candidate, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, 8 years under Akufo-Addo, told us in an adorned language, in a very plain language, and they spoke assuringly that the regime that they were fighting to dislodge, that regime was inept. It was a regime that was nepotistic. It was a regime that had no clue to turn the fortunes of this country around. So when some of us listen to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on the rostrum, on the various political platforms that he mounted, he told us that all the sectors of this economy that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo petered out, he would pan out if we give him the opportunity or we give him the mandate.
Yeah.
So question is, where Nana Addo petered out, has he panned out? Where Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo petered out, has John Dramani Mahama panned out? That's the question. Okay, how do we even measure that? We measure that through what is happening today.
Yeah, what we are seeing.
What we are experiencing today. My brother touted something, or said something about His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and that was one of the things that I touted during my campaign.
Nichiren.
Yeah, your name again?
Nichiren,
correct. Nichiren. What Nichiren said about John Dramani Mahama being a listening leader, being a sensitive leader, being a compassionate leader.
Yeah.
I emphasized these sterling qualities of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama while he was seeking our mandate, soliciting votes. is he living up to the billing? Yes, to some extent, because of what he's doing now. You know, what exacerbated or compounded issues under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was that he was tone deaf. Okay, he was tone deaf, which had affected the entire administration because it was like an infectious disease that plagued him and it spread. Through all his appointees were affected. It was a plague. You understand? Okay. Today, that is not what we're saying. At least we hear comments or remarks by appointees of this government showing that they are concerned. But one thing is that a listening government doesn't have the automatic listen to be whining. Okay? A listening government shouldn't be whining.
Okay.
If you are whining and telling us you are a listening government, whining doesn't bring any potent solution to problems.
Are they whining?
Traces of that. Because the thing is that you have been voted to solve our problems.
Right.
We know that not long ago, we were plunged into a vortex of a crushing, excruciating cost of living crisis. Okay? I repeat, under His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we were plunged into a vortex of a crushing, excruciating cost of living crisis. Okay? Good. The CD, our CD lost its value about 70%. Okay, 70% of the CD's value lost. The economy of this country was declared junk because it was bank-just by the inept Kenuforiata. It was a bank-just economy handed to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. One thing that my brother has done here that is so commendable, and his pastoral instinct showed in that, is that he is afraid to be part of that hypocrisy. He's in opposition, so I'm going to take that with a grain or a pinch of salt, because he's in opposition. In opposition, they find all manner of means to appear like they have changed. He's trying to create a wide berth between himself and hypocrisy. That is laudable. But you see, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Yes. Whenever they have the opportunity again to pretend the affairs of this country, I believe he will be giving what he's doing now. Unless, of course, politicians, how they show that level of ingratitude. If it's fortunate that he is with somebody who will not be ungrateful when they are given opportunity again to state the affairs of this country and is appointed somewhere. Inshallah, we'll be watching him keenly. And some of these things will be played. Look, people are complaining. I don't readily have my phone here. I actually wanted to show you a message from a devout NDC supporter who sent me a message that I should relay that message to the powers that be about cost of living crisis that is creeping into the system.
We'll actually get your phone for you, so that you could.
When she sent me the message, the tone was a frustrating one. The tone, like somebody virtually, like losing hope. You understand? So, you do a content analysis of what the person sent me. You'll come to the conclusion that that person is now wallowing in despair. And trying to portray the government as a damp squib. Like what they voted for, like what they were expecting, that is not what they're seeing today, a damp squib. You understand? And I don't think that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama would want his government described as a damp squib.
Okay.
You understand? Like maybe they have handed us a poisoned chalice. That is what they have. No. I don't think he want Ghanaians to, the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians who voted for him, to have that impression about him. You understand?
Okay.
So that is why these things must be taken seriously.
Okay.
What is actually driving this? The skyrocketing prices of fuel. A government must be forward-thinking. And it's one of the things I touted while campaigning for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, that he had 3 sights: insights, foresight, and hindsight. And what made him stand out amongst the presidential candidates in 2024 was the hindsight, meaning experience.
Yeah.
You understand? And given how the economy was ineptly managed, we needed somebody with hindsight to take over.
Yeah.
You understand? Okay, so we want to see more of the hindsight now.
Okay.
This thing was on the horizon. This fuel prices increment. It was on the horizon.
Right.
So what measures did the government put in place
that made it so?
Not to avert, because it was something on the horizon. Once the hub of international energy, it's now engulfed in this problem. I mean, this American-Israel-Iran war, the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah.
That is the provenance of international energy, fuel. Okay? So once there's a problem there, or a problem has emerged there, a forward-thinking government, a pragmatic government will start putting measures in place because there's something. Because there's something on the horizon.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because you know that what is happening there would inevitably and predictably result in this.
Okay. Yeah.
So what did they do?
Right.
I don't think they were sleeping at the switch.
Okay.
My brother, I don't think you guys were sleeping at the switch.
Not at all.
That is just to be charitable because of the kind of sympathy I have for you. Otherwise, you understand?
I guess you.
So now, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his finance minister. You know, the finance minister is one that I laud in one breath, and another breath, I kind of, not dislike, by the way he, you understand, because of the kind of austerity that he's taking the country through. This is an austere economy, and he's behaving like a French finance minister who lived was on 267 years ago, Silhouette. Tétien Silhouette was that stingy, austere finance minister who wouldn't release money into the system to boost the economy.
I see.
That is, yes. So his management of the economy is appearing to me like Tétien Silhouette.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
So that is why my brother touched on something that the billions of cities that is being pumped
that's forgotten
to hold the forest or to stabilize the forest. If they had done so, maybe the economy would have been better. What they did was the opposite, and they did a reckless one by printing excessive money into the system, going beyond what is statutorily allowed. Okay, so they pumped that kind of money into this excessive money into the system, which has inevitably resulted in hyperinflation. You remember those days? You go to fufu base. By the time you are done with the fufu, eating your fufu, the fufu seller will tell you the price has increased.
every day, seconds, minutes.
So if you you buy your fufu,
as a matter of fact, unfortunately our time is up. I wish we had more time, but unfortunately our time is up. We have to go.
We have to
end.
There is something I must say. You see, my brother made some.
You see, if you start like that, we all
I see.
Which must be, you must put it in proper.
Okay, so let me say very good morning to bro. You proceed. So I say a very good morning to the good people of Central Town constituency, especially those in Mafi Kumasi, the hub of quality tasty gari, and those in Adidome, that is the district capital of Central Town, and Bakba. And then to Central Town constituency, so Gakope, and to North Town constituency, Bato, Mefe, they just celebrated their Afenoto festival, where they displayed the rich Afenoto, like Mefe culture, the Tongruchi. Very good morning to them. And to all gallant members of Arise Ghana. Arise Ghana, some of you have NDC people, some of you have gained appointment now. You were part of us. Make sure you still attend our meetings. If you don't do it, we'll start exposing you on media platforms. You should start. You should start now. Thank you very much.
Quickly,
there is no fuel pumping close to the Osu Castle. That government appointees go there to get free fuel.
What is this guy?
It's a big lie, and that must be exposed. Secondly, you see, this same person sits here.
Who is that same person?
And contradicts himself. He says that it is not right for government to absorb the 2 cities. Where would the money be coming from? This same person condemns the fact that government brings about the D-levy. What are you talking about? You see, you can't appropriate and reprobate.
Okay.
You can't say one thing and at the same time turn your back and say another thing. And he says that good board has done what. You see, Sami Jemfi has been consistent. And he has said that anywhere he is called, he will come and answer.
Time is up.
Could you appoint Kuma cannot even stand him? You can stand Sami Jemfi and come and allege here. It will not happen.
Literally, our time is up. Derek, our time is up.
30 seconds. Mine is sympathizing with the families that lost their relatives on the Achimota stretch of Fanko.
We join you.
Nobody wishes that even for his or her enemy. And so my thoughts and prayers are with the families who had their relatives involved in that deadly crash. Our road safety organization should pay attention to some of these critical issues, and I think that we'll be fine as a nation.
Okay.
We don't have much time to go into the
politics. It's good you raised this one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was really good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap on News Flash right here on Bright Morning. News Flash is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phones Papa Fee. It is your leading mobile phone accessories and electronic retail outlets. Purchase items such as Nokia, Samsung, iPhones, smart TVs ranging from 32 inch to 100 inches, Franco air conditioning ranging from 1.5 horsepower, 2 horsepower, and 2.5 horsepower, chest freezers, refrigerators, washing machine, microwave, blender, generator, gas and electric stove, CCTV cameras, monitor video anytime and anywhere, on screen display OSD menu, easy configuration, 3-in-1 video audio control, all-in-one composite. So they've got all that for you. You can download the app. It is Franco, just Franco on iOS and Android. And they will deliver at your doorstep. You can also, and by the way, the discounts are still running. 40% discounts. I need to put that out there. 40% discount on all purchases. So please take advantage of that now. The official numbers are 0246 422338 or 0555 939311 or 0302 225651. My name is Asieduwa Akomia. Thank you, Nichiren of the NDC. Thank you, Salam Domani Jamado, who is a leading member of Arise Ghana, and Derek Jekum, who is on MPP's communications team. My name is Asieduwa Akomia.
Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.